Welcome to Inside the Creative Mind with Brian Jones. Get ready to dive into the stories, sparks, and secrets that fuel creativity around the world. From musicians to painters, actors to writers, Brian takes you behind the scenes of the art you love. Let's go inside the creative mind.
Dang, good guest today. Fantastic guest. Singer-songwriter by trade, but I think she might need to consider opening her own practice on emotional therapy because she posts a lot of things that help a lot of people genuinely. All the way from Wisconsin, here in the United States, please help me welcome Allison Sky to the show. Allison, how are you? What's going on in Wisconsin today?
Oh, it's good. We're finally getting to spring, but I just want to say thank you for that introduction. And wow, you're going to make me cry. I put myself out there and sometimes don't know if it's resonating with anyone. So for you to say that really, really means a lot to me. Yeah, I've got a lot going on. My EP is coming out next Friday, so Friday, May 1st. And this is something that I've been working on for the last year. So I'm really, really excited. And it feels like even longer than a year, really, because a lot of these songs came from my past journey with Lyme disease. So that was just a very long period in my life, and it's taken me almost 10 years now to be able to digest and mentally look back at it and say, you know what? Hard times changed me for the better. And that's one of the lyrics from one of the songs that's going to be on the EP. And I feel like I've grown so much in the last few years, not just as a musician, but with my mindsets and everything, just focusing on what is good and what is happening for me and the work that I'm putting in and not focusing on, what everyone else is doing and trying not to compare myself, which is easier said than done.
It's hard
when
to
you're
do,
on social
right?
media. Yeah.
Yeah. You bring up something, and I want to dive into that in a second, but I have a friend. So my corporate office is in Wisconsin, and I have a really good friend that works up there, Dina, if you're listening. Dina got Lyme disease, last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people don't really understand the effects that has on the human body, both mentally and physically.
Right.
It's probably one of the most underrated, if you will, diseases that you can deal with. But I want to just since you brought that up, can you talk about? You've been pretty open with navigating this chronic illness, but how has that experience affected your songwriting, your personality? Just elaborate on that if you can.
Yeah. I know I wouldn't have the songs that I'm putting out next week if I had not gone through that. And I've kind of made that the theme of this particular project because I wanted to write songs about overcoming. So I didn't want to get stuck in the negativity of the whole experience because I was stuck there for many years, and I wanted to transmute the whole thing into something positive and hopefully encourage other people that are struggling, whether it be with, mental health or other chronic illness. It doesn't necessarily have to be Lyme. It's very much affected how I write. It's affected who I am and how I view things. It's affected everything. I mean, it's a very tough disease to deal with because it affects every part of your body, like you mentioned. I mean, it can affect every system in your body, and someone can go from being super healthy to, practically a vegetable, in months if it's severe enough. So it's a life-changing experience, and I'm very grateful to be on the other side of it. And I did a treatment about almost 10 years ago that saved my life. And I work now for that practitioner too. So I've worked for Dr. Ben. The treatment's called Lyme Stop. So I've worked for him for the last almost 7 years. So I've met so many people around the world, talked to them on the phone, met them in person with similar stories to mine. So I found that very rewarding, and I always like to just think back and, what if younger me would have known that I was going to be in this position where I'm talking to people that are struggling with the same thing that I struggled with my entire childhood. And I didn't have anyone to talk to really about it that understood me at that point in my life because I was undiagnosed and nobody knew what it was.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it is. Unfortunately, I hear some of the challenges that my friends going through that's had Lyme disease, and I just can't even imagine, So if you think about Wisconsin, for those of our listeners that are overseas or don't know
Mm-hmm.
the kind of layout of the Midwest, it's it's kind of a wilderness up there in some
Mm-hmm.
places. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with wildlife and things. So there's ticks and mosquitoes are really heavy up there. So it's something that
Right.
is kind of part of your everyday thought process. I'm sure now being
Yeah.
on the backside where you're like, I'm not walking into that brush. So,
Right.
you
Yeah,
know,
for a while I didn't want to go outside at all, but I had to overcome that because I just cannot have a life or live a life where I'm not outside. It's just
yeah.
not it's not who I am. Like I love being in nature and I can't live that way, but yeah, it's a real fear.
Yeah, you probably got one eye looking around all the
Yeah.
time, for
What
for
was that? I felt
potential.
something on my leg.
Yeah, was it a tick? I don't know. So let's talk a little bit about your journey as a singer-songwriter in
Mhm.
Wisconsin. You're not in Nashville, right? You're
Right,
not in
right,
LA, so
right.
you're in the Midwest like me, so you don't
Mhm.
get a lot of exposure that some of the artists may have. Maybe that's an opportunity that you don't have. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about, your songwriting and how it started in Wisconsin. I mean,
Mhm.
does Wisconsin put out a lot of singer-songwriters, or are you the only one? Just fill us in.
There's actually more than you would think, and I've learned that over the last couple years as I've started performing publicly. But I really got involved in music as a young child. My dad is a musician and he sings and writes songs too, so that's how I got into it. And I knew from a young age that this is what I wanted to do. But with the whole Lyme experience, I feel like that really delayed me and now I'm here. I'm 32 and I've really just started in the last couple years to actually pursue music. And I didn't really understand what that meant 10 years ago. If I knew what I wanted, but it's like I wasn't willing to put in the work. I just think there's so much media and stuff out there that makes artists believe that if you just sit around and wait for someone to discover you, it's going to happen. It just doesn't work like that. Like you have to build. It's a business. You have to build your business where you are. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm building it where I am in Wisconsin. No, I'm not in Nashville. No, I'm not in LA. And do I sometimes feel like, I've missed the boat because I'm not in those places? Yeah. But I have grown a lot in the last couple years. I've performed over 100 times.
It's
And that's
insane.
while also being a mom and working part-time at the Lyme Clinic. So it's been a lot. And I have a gig this afternoon. It's really helped me to grow as a musician and be able to connect with people. And I'm starting to, share my music at these events. And I don't have a band yet, so I am still playing solo. So that's like another thing that I would like to do. But I know it adds a whole nother layer of time practicing. But yeah, I do think with the way the internet is now, I don't think it necessarily matters where you are.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with that 100%. I think, the band element from someone who lived that life, myself,
Mhm.
and traveled, it's exponentially harder than people think.
Yeah.
It is your life.
Mhm.
I did all that stuff before I had children, before I was
Mhm.
married. So it's pretty fun, at
Mhm.
that time. But, you're like you said, you're starting, you're 32, you're starting now.
Mhm.
You didn't start this when you were 19,
Right.
right? So you've got some other responsibilities. You got
Yeah.
bills that need to be paid,
Mhm.
but you talked about, playing over 100 gigs in the last couple of years, and you went from not playing
At all.
any at
Like
all
0. 0.
so you're like a Ferrari. You went from 0 to 60, in 2 seconds. But what did you need to do mentally to take that leap?
I think I've really been reevaluating some of my beliefs about myself over the last 7 or 8 years, just things that I've thought about myself, and some of them I think are, you know, in my genes, acquired from family, and others I think I acquired from having Lyme. And one of those is just having a lack of self-confidence and low self-esteem, because I would always share when I was younger what I was feeling symptomatically, and I would kind of get shut down by doctors, like, because they couldn't find anything. And so that has translated into every part of my life, where I just feel like, well, I should just be quiet. Like, I should not say anything. And I don't know what switch flipped when I turned 30, but I just had this thought one day, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to look back at my life and not have given this a shot at all. Now, is this timing ideal? No, I have a child, so I have way more responsibility, and I want to spend time with him. So it's not like I want to just jump ship and be like, I'm going to go do my music thing, because that's not what I'm doing. But I really feel like I need to do this because I have these songs and I have this story that I really want to share with people and give them hope. So I bought a sound system, and I started emailing venues. And by venues, I mean like restaurants, wineries, bars. I'm not like playing big theaters yet, although I did have my first like theater show with my dad last year. So we'll see what happens. But these are helping to pay my bills, these gigs. And I know some musicians are like, oh, I don't want to play covers. But this helps pay my bills. And I don't mind playing covers. I still throw in original music when I'm playing. And I'm getting paid to do something that I love. And so I'm really, really grateful for that. And yeah.
I think people want, like for me, and I can think of some small venue events that I've been to. And let's be honest, I've got some original music. You've got some original music. Some of it's pretty good that I've done. Some of it's not. But I think people appreciate it when you can mix it up a bit.
Right.
So if you're skilled enough as a musician to go in there and play some covers and do them well, I think people like that, because they've never heard your stuff before, a lot of them, right? So they're like, what's this song? I've never heard it. It's kind of good, but now she's playing
Piano Man by Billy Joel.
Piano Man, by Billy Joel. Everybody knows that. And I think to get them back into what you're doing, maybe paying closer attention, and then maybe they pick up on your original stuff. So I have no problem with that. People that are like anti-covers, I think they need to kind of do a reality check and go, listen, I'm not Taylor Swift.
I'm not famous.
I'm not famous. Yes, people are not going to just run up to the stage and know my song immediately when I play it. So I don't really have a problem with that. Now, I know this is very new to you, and I saw this pop up on your feed, and I don't want to spend too much time because I know you're just getting started with it. But this really caught my eye when you got your first certificate in this sound healing thing. And I guess for me, all I really want to know is, what is it? And what if you could just explain it to me, I'd like to know more about it. I think it's pretty neat.
So I did this through the Sound Healing Academy online, and I do have other courses I'm going to be taking in person. But I chose for my first course to focus on voice. So it really goes over like vocal toning. So there's different vowel sounds that actually correlate to different energy centers in your body, to try, to like bring your energy into alignment. And so that was part of the course. I mean, really, it's to help bring relaxation and lower stress in your body. So I'm doing it for myself, and I'm going to be taking a course in about 5 weeks with other instruments, so like the sound bowls. So I'm really, really excited to get into that. Very because cool. In the future, I would love to add onto my website like different audios that people can listen to. So that's a goal of mine. But yeah, I think I'm going to be facilitating some sound baths later this year after I take this next course.
That's really cool to me. And I think just the constant, always learning, right? You seem to be a little bit like me in that world where you're, you can even go back to your Lyme disease. Now you're working for the doctor. It's probably because you did so much of your own research on what was going on with yourself that you're like, I want to help other people or share this experience. And so I'm still in school. I'm working on my master's degree finally.
Wow.
I put it off forever and I'm like, I can do this. It's not that
Yeah.
hard. But I want to talk about, this is a pretty big deal, is your latest release, Move Out.
Mhm.
I think I want to know a couple things. What inspired the song? And I think you're
Mhm.
going to do a really good job of explaining that. But also,
Mhm.
what do you hope that your listeners take away from that song?
Yeah. I wrote that song in a closet on the floor after I got no sleep with my son when he was like 1 years
Oh,
old. I woke up. Well, I woke up. I maybe slept for like an hour. And I don't know, though. Sometimes I would say usually I write my lyrics first and then the melody. But for this particular song, it kind of came together. And it's really about having the mirror moment and realizing, hey, I can't keep blaming other people for why I'm not living the life that I want. I can't blame my parents or my husband or anyone else for me not getting to live out my music dream, because it's really me. It's my choice. Like, sure, people can say things to you that are hurtful, and maybe that can hold you back mentally, but it's still your choice, what you do with that. And that's something that I've had to overcome. I just have a really strong inner critic that I've always had to deal with, telling me I'm not good enough. I'm looking at what someone else is doing and I'm thinking, oh, you can't do it that good. Like, blah, 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 whatever. I'm always coming up with excuses for why I can't do something. And that's exactly what I had done with music. I told myself I couldn't do it. I told myself it's too late now. I'm too old and I don't have time. Yeah. All of that. But what I'd really like listeners to get out of it is just, hey, maybe take a look at your life. And if you feel like you're behind or left out, or you know what, things aren't just working out for you, look in the mirror and see what are you doing to contribute to that,
oh,
because
love that.
usually it's us. It's usually us.
Well,
I
I
mean, sure,
think,
there are sometimes other circumstances, like, sure, when I was at my worst point with Lyme, yeah, I couldn't really do anything. But
yeah.
that kind of ebbed and flowed, and there were certain points where I could have pursued this when I was younger, but I didn't, because I let my own negativity in my mind keep me from taking action.
Yeah. Man, you said something that's so poignant. So I interview and I talk to so many musicians and artists of all kinds. And I'm probably going to get a bunch of hate mail for saying this, but I don't care because it's my show and I can say whatever I
Say
want.
what you want.
I sometimes feel, and and I wouldn't say everybody because I'm really selective on my guests, and that's why you're here. But there's been
Mhm.
times where I've talked to young artists that feel like the world kind of owes them something.
Mhm.
And personally, in my generation, Generation X, we didn't have that at all almost. It was like it didn't
Mhm.
exist.
Yeah,
My mom's like, "Hey, if you want something, work for it. Go
right.
get it.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter where you came from or what you start with, you gotta go get it."
Mhm.
And I think that message has gotten a little diluted over the last 15, 20 years.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying there's not young people out there that are just killing it. They're working hard, they're
Yeah,
beating the bushes, they're doing everything right. But then there's the flip side of that where, like you said earlier, they're
Mhm.
waiting for the phone to ring.
Right.
And they think, a few social media posts are gonna get them there, and it's a lot of work, right? You're
It
doing this. You're
is.
going out and setting up your keyboard, plugging in your PA,
Mhm.
doing a sound check. The acoustics probably suck in half the rooms that you're
Right.
doing, and so you're getting the bruises, right? You're earning the
Mhm.
scars right now, but that's what makes you great. And I think when you do that, when you're out there, I can remember being in the band and the heater didn't work on our bus and we're freezing to
Mhm.
death and we're loading up equipment at 2 in the morning. We developed these battle scars and we developed this camaraderie as musicians that when somebody thinks they're going to do it easy, and maybe that includes, I'm not picking on AI artists or anything like that, but if you think there's an easy path
Yeah,
to
there's not.
getting, there's not. Yeah, thank you for summing it up. There's
Right.
not
There's
an
just
easy.
not
There's
if you
not.
want to actually be good.
That's right. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it takes years, not
Yeah.
weeks or months, right?
Right. Like at the beginning of this year, it was quite humbling. I drove over 2 hours for a gig, and then I played an
Yeah.
empty room, like for the workers, for 3 hours. And I just remember walking away from that feeling like, why? And then I didn't get paid that day either. And I thought, oh, great. So now I'm not going to get paid either. And I traveled.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I mean, no one knows who I am. Like, you have to keep putting yourself out there. And same thing with social media. Like, just because I've been posting on Instagram for over 2 years now and I haven't exploded or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, I think
Yeah.
people think if I post for like 2 months straight, all of a sudden I'm going to go viral and everything's going to be working out for me. Well, it just doesn't work like that. I mean, I had one video on TikTok do pretty well. It got maybe like 80,000 views. That didn't change my daily reality. Like, I'm still having to build my business.
Yeah, you may not even know why it happened, right?
Right.
Why you got 80,000 on that one compared to your other ones. What was the difference?
Right. So now when I post things, sometimes I wonder, I'm like, why did that video do good? And I feel like this one's
Is it
better.
me? Was it my hair?
Yeah, what was it? So yeah, I've tried to not. It's easy to get sucked into that, feeling like, oh man, I hope this post does really good. Maybe something will happen. Don't put your eggs in that basket. Like, just keep building your business, because showing up for these gigs and just meeting people and sharing my story like this, I love doing this. And I'm going to keep doing it whether my account grows or not.
Yeah, you have to, because I mean, every time I do not get on social media often. I know that might surprise you. It's not my thing. I'm here to support artists, and really, I probably miss most people's posts. Don't ever hate me for that. It's just like I have 1,000 I'm looking at all the time.
Right.
We're looking for new artists.
Right.
We're trying to stay in contact with the old artists, and just build our community. But yeah, it's amazing to me. I've had the same situation where I showed up and nobody was there, and I'm all disappointed. And then the next week it's so packed I can't even walk across the room. So it is what it is. I see these things. Oh, you need to post, like I'll read on Instagram. You need to post twice a day at 2:00 in a red background with this thing, and you'll blow up, and all that's crap. We don't
make
control
sure
the
your lighting's
algorithms.
perfect, and then put your hand in the video.
Yeah. Have a camera that follows you around while you're doing your stretches. It's like, come on.
That's just, you'll drive yourself insane if you try to do all those things, because I really don't know that there's a rhyme or reason for why, things go
None of
off
us
and
know.
not.
I mean, think of how saturated the industry is. If you think of Spotify, I don't remember the exact number, but it's like 86,000 people post every day, put a new song out every day. I mean, how are you going to get found in that ocean when you're a drop, So I think you've got to figure it out. You just keep doing what you want to do.
And that's why I think it is.
It.
I think it is really important to focus on where you really are locationally, like build your community where you are, regardless of whether you're in Music City or not. And actually, sometimes I think being in one of those music hubs makes it harder. I mean, you have way more competition, and I've talked to musician friends of mine that live there or have lived like in Nashville, and what I'm doing here in Wisconsin, I'm getting paid more. Playing gigs here versus if I wanted to like try and get in on Broadway or something.
Yeah, people can't believe, when I was a touring musician, I made a lot of money. Now, it was a ton of work. It's probably the hardest I've ever worked in my life back then. But before we go too far, because I'm watching the clock, I have so many other questions I'm trying to fit in, and you're so easy to talk to, I just lose track of time.
Me too.
But one of the things that kind of separates you from so many other musicians, and this is why you caught our attention so early, was you're really passionate about helping like other creatives. you're helping them just kind of take action.
Mhm.
And I guess for me, how does that look like? How does that what does that look like in practice? So
Mhm.
you're helping others, and that seems to be a really big part of your
Mhm.
mission, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I try and make a lot of my posts about this, um, because I just feel like there's so many people that I know personally that are so good at something, and you can tell, like, that's what they're passionate about, that's what they wanna be doing, but they are just so stuck, and that's exactly where I was my entire 20s. I was just so stuck in my head, "Well, I can't do that because I don't have money," or I'm whatever excuse, I came up with all of them, and, so for me, practically, I mean, I have a few friends that I really try to encourage when I'm talking to them, like, "Hey, do this. Like, I've tried doing this and it works." And like, you can, I just share really what I've been doing. Not that I really know how to do everything. I'm just sharing what I've been doing the last couple years and how I've been booking gigs. And because I've had people ask me that, like, how are you booking these gigs? Or some people are asking, are you getting paid to do these? I'm like, yes, I'm getting paid. And that's kind of how I found out about how some people don't get paid. But anyways, yeah, I'm just sharing practically with people that I know and on my social media what it is that I'm doing. And I've kind of revamped my email list to be about this too. Just turning your passion into a business, because it's not easy and there's not necessarily a roadmap. It's not like going to college to be a doctor. Like, there's a
Mhm.
clear path on this is what you do, then this is the next step, and this is what you do. But
Right.
everybody's music journey is so different. And I just think a lot of the skills that we need to progress are not talked about.
hmm Allison, I'm just curious on a personal note. So I know you play the keyboard and the piano. It's
Hmm.
pretty obvious. Is there anything else that you play or you're learning or?
I really just need to learn the guitar. That's like a mental block that I have. I'm like, I don't think I can do it because it's just so uncomfortable, but I know if I really put in the work, I could do it. I actually play the flute. I played
Yeah,
the flute,
that's
in
cool, actually.
bands, so I do have that.
Mhm.
Maybe I'll incorporate that into my, like, sound healing
Yeah, yeah, that
audio
would
when I
work.
do
That'd fit
those.
perfect.
Um, and I play a tiny bit of ukulele. I wouldn't say that I'm, like, that good at it. My voice has always been my main instrument, but I
Yes,
would
you have a
really
very distinct voice. It's
thank
very
you. I would really also like to learn, the dulcimer.
wow. That's very, uh,
Obscure.
it's very obscure, but it's a cool instrument.
I just
Uh,
think it kinda sounds like a guitar, but it's in your lap like a keyboard, so it'd be
yeah,
easier.
it's cool. I mean, I like every instrument. My
Mhm,
son, he's always buying some new instrument. He's like, "I'm gonna learn how to play French horn," and I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "I
mhm.
just want to." And
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
just
"Okay."
fun.
I just I've been playing keyboards for so long.
Mhm,
I can play the bass guitar okay. I'm not good, but I can play it
mhm,
okay, and I can play the drums. And that's just because I toured with bands forever, and somebody
mhm.
never showed up for practice one day and were like, "We need somebody to drum," and I'm like, "I'll do it. I can
Oh my
do it.
gosh.
Give me a
That
chance,
would
I'll
be
do it."
so nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I mean, but, when we, like, lived together, on
Yeah.
the road, so we were that just happens over time, but, uh, I always found it really hard. I've tried to play the guitar,
Mhm.
but the keyboards are so ingrained in my brain,
Right,
like
yeah.
fingering, where how things work that the
Yeah, like
bass is simple.
chords. It
Yeah.
just makes more sense
Yeah, it's like,
looking at the
"Why am I
keyboard.
doing this? This is so uncomfortable." But
Yeah.
I don't know, but so I kinda gave
I
up.
I may do it eventually. I just have to
It's a
I have
tough
to overcome that
transition.
hurdle. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd probably suggest lessons because I
Yeah.
I tried like, the bass I just kinda picked up on my own because it's
Mhm,
really simple. No
mhm.
offense, bass players.
Yeah.
But the guitar is just, I don't know. So, I'm watching my time, but I got at least a couple more questions
Mhm.
here. So when you think of everything you've done and everything you've accomplished, and we always check in, see what you're up to, but what do you think is next? What's kind of like on your radar for what do you want to tackle next on your creative journey?
Hmm. Well, I wanna put out more music, so that's gonna happen. Eventually, I would like to put out an album, and I think it'll be quite different than the music that I'm putting out right now. Because
Really?
I grew up listening to a lot of country, so I do have, I mean, you can kind of hear it in my voice.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know what to consider my genre. I say
I
pop
don't either.
folk.
I was wondering.
I say pop folk, but it could be like a country pop crossover. I don't know. I just don't like
remember doing
putting.
your blog like last year, and I was like, what genre should I put this in? And
Yeah,
I kept listening.
it could be both. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I've been marketing it as pop folk. But I grew up listening to a lot of country. So some of the songs I write, I really don't hear them as piano songs. Like I'll just write something without an instrument.
Yep.
And I actually like writing that way because I feel like it allows me to be more creative and I don't get locked into like a chord progression or anything like that. So more music. I would love to travel more. Something that I'd like to get into is doing house concerts, and I really like the small settings of being able to share the stories behind my songs. So that's something that I would like to do with my husband and my son. So
You're a very good
have to figure that
speaker.
out.
I think you could have your own podcast.
Oh, I've thought about that too, but I'm like,
No,
what would I
seriously,
make
you're
it about?
really. I haven't had to carry you at all on this conversation. You probably carried me through most of it. Honestly, I think that's something I'd look into.
Yeah.
You got perfect control over when and how you do it, and I think
Right.
you
And I
really
have all the
suck.
equipment now that I've been recording
That's
in my
right.
bedroom.
You could have me on. I could be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, Allison, hi." No,
That would be
no.
great. Yeah, it is something that I've thought about. I just would have to, I don't know what the theme of it would be. I mean, kind of maybe move out of your own way. Maybe I would just take that song and make it the whole podcast. I've thought about that.
That's a great one. You'd probably get a lot of people come on.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you. What was the question that you asked
I
me?
don't
I already
know.
forgot.
That's kind of how my podcast works. I start conversations and then I drift into another realm of reality. But let's kind of make this our last thought. So, what one piece of advice do you always keep coming back to when you're encouraging others?
Yeah. Don't wait. Don't
Ah,
wait. Don't wait for someone to validate you. Don't wait for someone to give you permission to pursue what you're passionate about and turn it into your job. Just don't wait. You don't really know how much time you have here. You know what I mean? Like I learned that the hard way. I didn't think I would make it to 25. Like I'm serious when I say that. I really thought I would not be here anymore. And so I'm very grateful to be alive, and I know now that time is very precious and you should just use it and just do it. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Sure, maybe family and friends might think you're crazy, they might make fun of you, but at least you're doing what you want to do instead of sitting back and letting life pass you by and not enjoying it. So my advice is just don't
such
wait.
good advice. Allison, I'm going to leave the show today encouraging you to have your own podcast. I think you'd be so good at it.
Thank you.
But we're out of time, unfortunately. I've really enjoyed talking to you. I knew I
Me
would.
too.
You just
Thank
have
you.
the best personality. But
Thank you.
everybody, if you haven't been to Allison's Spotify or her Instagram, and always send people to other people's socials, please go check Allison out. She's really just a unique, talented, well-thought person. I mean, she doesn't just spew out blah, blah, blah. She puts a lot of time and thought into her posts, and you can tell, and they resonate. She's a super nice person. She's been a friend of our In Tune program for a long time. Allison, thank you so much for coming on the show today, and we wish you absolute success moving forward.
Thank you. Thank you for encouraging me.
I'm going to be looking for that podcast.
Yeah. I'll add that to my list.
You never know. Hey, thanks for coming on. We're going to wrap up the show today. Everybody tune in next week.
Thanks for listening to Inside the Creative Mind with Brian Jones. Keep exploring, keep creating, and don't forget to tune in for the next 30 minutes of inspiration, streaming on all platforms. Your next spark of creativity is just a play button away.